Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Glassman's World. I'm Dan the Glassman. We're about to get started on making a rainbow marble and a rainbow jellyfish. So, I just got done doing a live video, 2 hours long though, on how to make a rainbow jellyfish, but that also entailed how to make the rainbow ribbon cane. So in order to make a rainbow jellyfish, you have to first make the rainbow ribbon cane, and this takes an hour and a half in that video in order to make it. So if you want to skip through and just watch the very last portion to watch the jellyfish, you can watch that, or you can watch how I made this beautiful ribbon cane here. So we're gonna get started now and make I was gonna make a marble first, but I don't think that we can do that because it's already set up for a jellyfish. So I figure, you know what? Let's just make a jellyfish real quick. So um, I'm just gonna bring the video up here so we can watch the video in case there's any comments or anything like that. If anyone would like to watch. All right. So um, we had also at the very end of that video determined that there wasn't enough rainbow in there. So then I made this beautiful cane here, which is basically just the rainbow color on top of the. This is like some sort of a translucent white. I don't know what it's actually called, but to me it looks like at the very tip there, it looks like moonstone to me. So I use it for doing jellyfish because it comes out real translucent and real beautiful. And so we're gonna get started here on making a couple more, making a jellyfish, and then we're gonna make a marble. We're gonna keep this as short and sweet as possible. All right. So and welcome to the new angle here. So we got a whole new angle. Hopefully I don't get in the way here while working. Gotta get the glasses on. So let's get these on here. Alright, so to get started, we need to first make sure that we have um, a little bit of a cane here. So let's get this going. So we're going to build the body to the jellyfish right now. And so what I'm thinking I might do is try to keep it thicker if possible. Alright, so right now I'm stretching this out, I'm twisting it. We're going to use this for the tentacles on the jelly. And then this end piece here, I'm going to make this a little bit thicker. Okay, so normally I have these a lot smaller, but these are now almost equal in size. And I'm going to see if I can draw this on and have just a lot more detail by doing it this way. I'm just going to twist it up too, quite a bit. Okay, so now we got that. We're going to melt that down and then pull it just a little bit. Yeah, and we're going to keep this a little bit thicker than usual. Alright, and then we got this rainbow twisted cane here, the latticino, not a ribbon, but a latticino cane. We're going to use this for the bell. So basically we're just making a stem and a cap, and it's like how you would make a regular mushroom pendant, except we've built up the tentacles around a center tentacle, and now this is going to become the bell to a jellyfish. And it's got rainbow color on it, so hopefully that'll all come out. And I wanted to do another rainbow jellyfish video real quick because the last one, like I said, it's a 2-hour long video. And I wanted to make this real quick, short and sweet on how to make just the jellyfish itself without making the ribbon cane. But then, oh, I'm just noticing now my glasses are kind of in the way here, huh? Let me make sure. There. Make sure I don't get in the way. Alright, so now we're going to have this rainbow here on the tip. This is a lot thicker of a stem. A lot thicker than we normally would have. But this is going to work really nice. So same thing, just a little bit thicker than usual. Hopefully those colors will appear more. Alright, so now we just do the gather of the clear glass here, the 16 millimeter rod. We'll gather the tip, and then we'll push in the jellyfish there. So as you can see on this one here, it's a lot faster getting into it. I can see we're about 10 minutes in. And we're already about to be halfway through on this jellyfish. So hopefully we can get this done in about 10 minutes. A 20-minute total on it. And that's with full explanation and instruction too. So I'm just rotating the glass, just gathering it. We just want to get the tip of it molten. Just like you would do for a mushroom push, but with a thicker a thicker gauged stringer. Normally I would have a real skinny stringer, like a 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter stringer. These ones are a lot bigger. Alright, so now it's ready. Gonna grab this, we're gonna heat up just the tip, the color. That way it can, it'll help the color glass to kind of spread out a little bit. We'll make sure this is molten. And we're gonna push this in all the way until the bottom of those tentacles are there, pretty much to where it ends here. Alright, here we go. We go in directly in the center, and then it hits that wall, has nowhere to go, so then you gotta force it in, and we gotta make sure we get all those tentacles in there. Yeah, and then we'll just cut off that center one right there. Just like that. That's ready for the rainbow marble now. So my son, our 4-year-old, he asked last night if I could make a rainbow jellyfish. And I was like, you know what, I probably can. Like, let's see if we can. So this is for him. And let's see if we can actually pull off a rainbow jellyfish. And then he has no idea. But hopefully, by the time he wakes up, we'll have some rainbow marbles for his racetrack. Because we do the marble racers here, and yeah, he'll probably want to try out his new rainbow marble here. So right now I'm just keeping the heat right behind the bell, or if you consider this the shape of a mushroom, the cap of the mushroom. Basically where all that color mushroomed out, like a mushroom cloud. And now we're keeping that heat right there so the rest of the glass starts to get molten, and gravity is going to allow that glass to just start to fall on itself, squeeze out the air, and collapse on itself, and the air will just get all squeezed out. So that's the trick, is not trapping any air bubbles in here. So you just want to be patient, allow for the clear glass to do all the work for you, and the heat of the torch to do all the work for you, to just slowly, steadily squeeze out the air bubble, and eventually you'll get those tentacles and everything to really show up. And this is going to look really nice. So I can see that I have quite a bit out, sticking out on that end there. What I might do is form a little point, and we might try to actually encase that into a little bit of some clear glass as well. Okay, so yeah, I think what I need to do is just make sure that I'm building these up a lot bigger in order for it to really look like a jellyfish. That looks awesome. Alright. So I was thinking about keeping it as a point in the center there, which I can pull it out, and then we can add clear glass around it, but I think it's going to look amazing like this. And like I said, this is for my 4-year-old. He's not going to know that much of a difference. Now we got to figure out where we want it. Right there. Okay, that's going to be the flat side. Right there. as I'm spinning it, I'm always considering, okay, what side do I think is going to look the best for like the front view. Okay, so now we got to get this color here, the cobalt, and we're going to put the cobalt on the flat back side here. So you just got to melt this down, get this all gathered back down to itself, and we don't have to waste any of it. Colored glass is more expensive than clear glass, so if you can minimize your waste, you minimize your resources and your money as well. And the cost of material and things. Alright, so now I'm just going to round this up. We're going to gather up the cobalt, round it up. Make like a little bit of a marble on the end of this rod here. Just rocking the rod back and forth, spinning it towards me, then making sure I'm going back. Usually I do like 2 spins towards me to 1 back. 1, 2, then 1, 1, 2, then 1, 1, 2. Like that's usually how I do it. Alright, now we're gonna add this right on the back side here, on the flat. Boom. So we just go right to the bottom of it right there. Make sure that it's fully covered. And we're going to pull it up. And I'm always pulling towards the top here. So that way that color, we want to grab all that color here. That way the color goes upward. And we'll have to melt all that down. So then all this color goes upward, and we can pull it into the loop when we start to form the loop eventually. So we'll make sure we have some of that color glass going up on top of the pendant. This is the bottom of the pendant. I know it's the top of the rod here, but it's actually the bottom of the pendant. So I consider this to be the bottom, this to be the top right here. Alright, we just heat up that cobalt real quick. And get it nice and molten. And then I'm going to assist it by using a paddle to push it down this way. Then we'll flatten it. And that's usually it right there. So then it's all nice and wide, and it looks like it's just floating in a sea of water in the ocean right there. So now we'll heat it up to get rid of any heat rings from flattening it on the paddle there. We'll make sure everything is nice and flat and all melted down properly. Make sure there's no issues. Alright, so that's nice and flat. When we get our punchy, we let the jellyfish cool down. Let the pendant cool down. We get the punchy molten. Attach it. So that way it can just snap right off. Make sure it's nice and straight. Always check your flat back. Make sure your flat back is straight. This rod is completely crooked, but the flat of the pendant is straight. And once I get this molten, then it'll straighten out and everything. But I need to actually twist it in a weird, awkward way here. So I gotta let it just freely flow in my hands. I'm trying not to force it to go straight until the torch gets that molten enough, then it'll straighten out. And then I'm just gonna heat up right here on the top portion here where all that cobalt is up top on the back side. We're going to make sure that when we pull this loop up, all that blue comes up with it. Alright, here we go. So then we hold it like that, pull it up, all that cobalt comes with it. Once it gets to about there, I pull forward and I start moving it back. Use the flame to help guide it right back center. And boom, there's a little bit of colored glass on that clear. So I'll clean that up real quick. Just like so. Get our reamer. We flatten this little bit of glass, like a bump that's left over from pulling it off. So what I always do is I heat it up and then I just use my reamer to just flatten it like that. You can see this is kind of moving over and kind of bending this way. So we got to make sure that when we melt this all, we get that all nice and straight again. So you can help it by pushing it this way, pushing it that way on the top, things like that. Make sure that this is all melted and molten. So it's all one piece here on the back. And then we use our reamer to make sure that the hole doesn't close up on us. Make sure that the hole is big enough for a nice 2 millimeter black waxed leather cord at least. Make sure it's nice and straight by looking at it. And that looks like a really nice jellyfish right there. But we'll see how the tentacles look after it's been fired in the kiln and everything like that. We won't know until it's completely done and pulled and out of the kiln. So I'll post up some photos of them probably tomorrow on the community post here on my page. That way you can see how they turn out. But yeah, I can definitely see there's a lot more detail and color in that one there. That's a beauty. That's a big, big bell or big head there on that jellyfish. Alright, so let's drop this one in the kiln now. Let's start on the marble. So now we need the marble mold here. So this is basically my bowl push, and now it's a marble mold as well. So I'll need to have my pot holder here, so when I hold this, it's not hot. Since it doesn't have a wooden handle on it, I can't really pick it up. That's why these all have handles on them and things like that. Okay, so let's make a marble real quick. And we're going to also make sure that this is measured up. So we'll zero it up. Let's get it to about 15 and a half, 16 millimeters. So if it fits in a 16, so touchy. Okay, that's 16, so we'll lock it into place. That's 16 millimeter right there. It might move. I think I got it locked. Alright, so that's 16 millimeter right there. I don't know if you can see that or not. And we're going to measure out this marble to 16 mil. So you can see that it's pretty much right there already, you know. You just got to round that up just a little bit, and it'll be right there. This is the 16 mil right there, so that's a good, gives me a good idea on what I'm looking for. Okay, so now let's introduce this into the flame. Let's soften the flame a little bit. Introduce it into the flame real gently. Go on the tip. Just going to slowly work it. And we're just going to try to keep this nice and straight so it's a ribbon cane all the way through it from top to bottom. So I'm just going to rock this back and forth. That way it doesn't fall over to one side or the other. And we'll be able to bring this back up to a 16 millimeter on the tip here. Just by heating it up. Oh man, our son's gonna love this one. It's gonna be his favorite rainbow racer. He's so funny. I'm gonna actually film him one of these days doing a marble race. He's gonna probably have his own YouTube channel here by the time he's 5 years old. He's already like knowing how to tell people, make sure that you like and subscribe and watch my channel and this and that. He wants to do videos with us all the time, unboxing videos, opening up the mail and things like that. He is really good at it too. I am not gonna lie. He is really good at it. I'm like, wow. You know exactly how this works already. You're not even 5 yet. Like, that is wild. Alright, we're going to bring up this heat a little bit more. That way we can help to collapse this down some on itself. You got to remember, we're going for that 16 millimeter size. And that's going to be the hard thing, because I have to basically shape this to that size. And then we're going to have to cut it off. And if we cut too much, then, you know, it's done. So I really have to do my best to round this up to that 16 millimeter. And if it's 15 mil, then that's fine too. Alright, let's try to get this all rounded up. If it's a little too big, that'll be okay. If it's too small, I want to make sure, like, you know. Oh, that's like right on point right there, guys. Ooh, okay. Alright, there we go. He doesn't realize this is like a $30 marble right here. He's just going to play with it just like it's any other normal marble. Alright, I'm going to go back in again here and try to round up this other side here. Try to get it more rounded. That is definitely bigger now, I'm pretty sure. Yep. Okay, so we now have to pull it off, and we're going to stretch it a little bit on the opposite side. And you know what it might do, actually. Yeah, we'll probably pull off some on the other side. So I'm going to punchy this up. So if you're making marbles, you should know what a punchy is and how to punchy up things at this point. Now we're going to cut this off. I'm going to try not to twist this and keep this as open as possible. I'm going to actually just like stretch it without twisting it. And try to open it up. Wow, that's a beautiful cat's eye. Okay, so I'll set this down here. That'll be safe right there. So now what I did is I opened up this side a lot by not twisting it and just pulling it open. And that ribbon is really looking nice on this side. And we're going to pull some glass from the other side to make this marble entirely smaller. I'm going to try to keep this open like that. I'm going to terminate it a little bit in the on the tip here, which basically that means I'm going to get the point of the glass is pulled a little bit more tighter, a little bit more detailed, the way that I'd like it. So I'm just looking at it head on, and I can see the twist and everything there. Alright, so we'll just round this down. I'll turn this into a marble here on this side, round it up. Right now it's more of like a teardrop shape. Round it on the bottom and pulled, elongate it towards that top there. Alright, so what I'm going to do is round this up now on this side. But I'm knowing that I have to pull some of that off. I'm just getting that front face round, not worrying about whether or not that other side's too big or whatever. Now we're going to punchy it up again. And now what I have to do is when I punchy it, I'm going to have to snap it off. And so I'm going to use the body of my torch to snap it right here. And this is going to be gooey. We got to do this quick. We touch it, punchy it, snap. Then you have to like hold this and don't let it fall over anything. Spin that back into position. Now we can get this side, and we're going to pull it, which is then going to open up the ribbon cane on this side some. Make the marble smaller. Because we'll be terminating it and taking some away from it. And as we pull it, you know, it's going to make the center of it a little bit thinner, not as wide. And we'll get closer to that 16 millimeter, 15.5 millimeter marble here. Alright, so I'm just going to heat up this whole top portion, trying to keep the flame away from the puntee. We don't want to seal the puntee to that. And then we're going to get the tip. We're going to make sure we pull it right at that tip there, so we can open it up. You can see, start pulling that color away. And trying to simply pull it to open up all those twists in there. So we can even pull it and try to twist it open the opposite way. There we go. And then when we pull this off, we just want to slowly pull off that tip to terminate it. We'll check that size now. And now we got enough room that fits right through there. The 16 millimeter. Now we'll just round this down. That opened up the spiral in there. So our son will really be able to see that rainbow now. He's going to have a really nice rainbow racer, guys. I'm going to pull a little bit more off the tip here. Just make sure to terminate it. Just by pulling all that glass directly to the center there. That's going to help to open up that spiral too. And now we're going to do our best to keep the flame only on this side of the marble. We're going to go with a really, really tight flame here. High oxygen. We really, really want to heat this up to where we can get it back to round. And then we use the marble mold here. Put it on that back side where it's attached to the other punchy there. And then you want to like kind of force some pressure to really, really get it to go on that rim of the marble mold there. And that is pretty round there. That looks beautiful. Look at how that's opened up. Oh, he's going to love that. What 5-year-old wouldn't love a customized rainbow marble? So we're going to puntee this up a couple more times. I definitely want to make sure that this is nice and round. So not only are we going to hit it from that side, but I also like to go at a 45-degree angle and punch it up this side as well. And now you can see there's a little bit of some piece there. We're going to take that piece of glass off. So we'll have to terminate that again. So we'll heat that up. And then we'll just get our little scrap glass here and we'll pull it. And as we're pulling it, you know, you want to try to also keep that twist going no matter what. Just in case you start pulling color or anything. And everything just flows nicely. Alright, so now going to heat up this tip here. Get this whole top half of the marble round. So now we're going to hit it from the opposite angle or sides and really make sure that it's round from all different angles. You know, we're speaking of a sphere, So we only round it like the front and the bottom portion of it, but we got to get it from all angles here. And making sure you heat it, spinning it in like that. That's really going to round it now to where, you know, from all different angles. We'll punny it up again. We'll do that again on the other side. We'll make sure that we have a clean punchy mark on each side. So now I'm going to do my best to really, really not have anything attached to it if I can. So real gentle. And look at that, nice clean break. So now we just clean up this punchy mark here on this side. The other side should be ready to go. We're going to round this out one more time. In the marble mold, going to heat up the top portion, keeping that flame away from the punchy. We're using the marble as a shield, keeping that flame from the punchy, using the top half, letting it not go underneath that bottom hemisphere. And we spin it around. And just like that, you got yourself a beautiful, brilliant, round marble. So then we just got to finish up the top portion there, right? And we can hit it one more time on different sides if you want. To really, really make sure it's nice and round. I think we'll do it one more time. Just to make sure, because I think I heated that one up pretty good. We might have fused the punchy a little bit, and that's what makes some glass break off on it. So we'll attach it. Okay, it's still clean. There's a little bit of glass on there, but it's still pretty clean. So let me just round this down, get this in there, try to get this top half, round it, just like that. That bottom half is nice and round. And that is ready to go. So now we snap it off in the marble mold. Try to put the punchy to the front like that. Grab it with your, well, if you have a marble mold that's not homemade like I do, then you'll have a handle on it. But basically I just need to get it to where that punchy mark is, so then we can round that out. And just make sure it's all nice and round. And then usually I'll spin it around on that front. I'll try not to touch my tweezers on the molten part. And that gets it nice and round. I think that's in the limits there. Definitely, that's within 16 millimeter. Now we drop this marble in the kiln. And so since I'm holding this like this, I need to use this to hold the kiln open. Bam. And there we go, guys. That is how you make a jellyfish, rainbow jellyfish, and a beautiful rainbow marble. That was pretty cool. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. So this is the one that we did earlier, as you can see. I believe this one, that was from yesterday. So that one is the orange. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's not really trying to zoom in. Maybe if I turn it around, we can show you this way here. And then you can see the tentacles in there, sorta. Come on. Doesn't want to zoom in. There it goes. So yeah, so you can see the tentacles and everything within there. So that one was from yesterday, guys. So you can watch the video on me making that one yesterday and taking a whole hour long on how to make the ribbon cane, which that's one of the most important things to making these jellyfish, is making a beautiful ribbon cane. So we started with this one here today, which is the rainbow cane right there, inspired by my 5-year-old. He said, "Can you make a rainbow jellyfish?" So there you have it. That's for you. All right. We'll get these out of the kiln here soon, and then he can do marble races. I might have to make me one, so I have a rainbow one too. Or maybe he should have the only one. I have jellyfish marble. I got all kinds of cool marbles. But that's it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. I'm Dan the Glass Man. This is the Glass Man's World. And I'll be back later, probably doing some lessons, demonstrations on some beginner basics, how to do ribbon cane, simpler ribbon cane, lattichinos, twisted cane, candy canes, things like that. So if you want to make sure that you tune into that, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification, and be sure you like and share. I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.